In order to answer my essential question, I'll be using a number of different sources to help me, because there is no one answer. I'll be using quotations from the book The Tempest, and including the direct references, I'll be also analyzing them. The other three sources that I have chosen are the interviews I have made with Mr. Reynolds, my mother Victoria Lieva, and a friend of mine, Mimi Arsua. Forgiveness is a promise of a better world without craziness, envy, and revenge. Furthermore, I will justify my personal opinion that nevertheless, how dramatic the possibilities and events in life could be, even related to extremes like death of close ones. Forgiveness is more powerful than revenge. I refer to The Tempest by William Shakespeare as a drama that leads to happy results by showing that only forgiveness is the way to freedom and happiness. What for you is the meaning for someone to forgive?
Forgiveness is the releasing of emotions, feelings, anger, vengeance toward a group or a person that you felt that had wronged you.
In my opinion, to forgive means to give a chance for the other person to develop and to prove that they can correct their mistake, and that they have made it. So it is a process that involves emotions and feelings, but also it is also a struggle with yourself.
What for you is more powerful, forgiveness or revenge? Why?
Both. Both in a different way. This is like good and bad. To forgive, let's start from the revenge, right? Revenge is very powerful because revenge kills. Revenge could the envy that comes from the revenge could be very powerful, and this could destroy people, characters, countries. We know that even worse comes from revenge normally. And then comes the forgiveness. It's in people's relationships when after, let's say, when you envy somebody, when you have problems with someone, when you are in trouble because someone did something completely wrong and harmed you, then when you start to forgive, then this is when your power comes. This is the moment when you start to really develop a new relationship, new love, new life. It's the same with politics, because what we see that comes from wars, after the envy, after the revenge, after all is gone, the forgiveness comes and people try to live together in a different way. And I truly believe that at the end of the day, forgiveness is more powerful.
What do you think is more powerful, forgiveness or revenge, and why?
sort of a question, what's more powerful, the sword or the pen? Many would argue that forgiveness is more powerful. But, vengeance does make a person feel good, and it is a physical act of aggression. And so if a nation is moving toward a vengeance or a person, it can cause a lot more destruction. So what is more powerful? What do we mean by that? What is the end result of power? In the long run, maybe forgiveness is the better way, but immediate is probably more powerful of vengeance. Because the offender, the one who's avenging, might not appreciate or understanding the forgiveness and look at it as a weakness. And therefore would continue their act of aggression and transgressions against the person.
In my opinion, by this speech, Prospero shows that he is in fact moved by Ario's declaration and feels compassion for the suffering wrongdoers to him, like Alonso, Sebastian, and Antonio. He shows visible struggle with his conscience, then decides that he too feels merciful towards his enemies. Although his enemies have wronged him deeply, he will forgive them, and we see this when he says the rare action is in the virtue, then in vengeance. He also understands that his magic to control and revenge on Alonso, Sebastian, and Antonio is less powerful than using compassion and forgiveness. Caliban, being a slave to Prospero, was given very little mercy and was treated poorly by him. However, having Prospero be his teacher, he constantly was being taught that revenge is the only option and that one has to never forgive. In this piece of text, not only do we understand that Caliban is accepting the two drunks beating each other, but also we get the sense that because he was not given any mercy, he will not give any back. Sadly, in fact, he enjoys others suffer in front of him.
Quote. Do we want any forgiveness quotes?
Yeah.
Then we got any forgiveness quotes? Let me think. You can't forgive without loving, and I don't mean to be sentimental. I mean having good enough courage to stand up and say, I forgive. I finish with it. Nah, that sucks. Let me think of another one. Forgiveness is the final form of love. Peace.
Exactly.
To sum up, nevertheless, the worst scenarios in life could cause revenge, which shouldn't be one's course. Even if temptation of revenge has been taken as a course of action, wisdom naturally leads to forgiveness. Forgiveness is the search of good, and it remains as such nowadays as a main goal in humans' lives. There is no need of being a superhuman or not earthly person to embody the power of forgiveness that leads to freedom. It is the human imagination, growth, and wisdom that does so. Living in the most historical and cruel century, we still look for answers of how good prevails and forgiveness plays a main role in the uncertainty. As Shakespeare states, if you give freedom, you will be free. Let your indulgence set me free.